Hi-Fi Rush is off the menu for Nintendo Switch, which is quite the bummer. But there might be a huge silver lining, as it looks like Metroid Prime 4 could be back on the menu for 2024. Good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. This got me jazzed up like no other, because Metroid Prime 4 releasing in 2024, pre-Switch 2, delivering on the Switch 1 promise, and being a huge holiday title for this year would be absolutely incredible. Plus, we got even more video game announcements for Nintendo Switch after this morning's Direct and a few other tidbits to tie up. But before we get to the exciting, juicy Metroid Prime 4 news, I'm live streaming Splatoon 3 Side Order tonight. I didn't know it till just recently, but the single player DLC for Splatoon 3 drops tonight early, and I'm going to be streaming it at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Link in the description down below. Click it. Be there. It's going to be amazing. I'm getting my color palette on. We're climbing that tower. We had a huge live stream for the Direct. Let's run it back. I'll see you there. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hi-Fi Rush ain't coming to Switch. This is the weirdest, biggest omission. Microsoft opened up the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase this morning with footage of Grounded coming in mid-April, and then later we saw Pentiment releasing tomorrow, 2 of the 4 Xbox games coming to other platforms. Well, we thought maybe Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves would be coming at a later date, but then Sony got out and said, hey, we're announcing some Xbox games too. Hi-Fi Rush is coming to PlayStation 5 in mid-March, and Sea of Thieves is coming at the end of April, indicating that they just are not coming to Nintendo Switch. Now, this is a big bummer, as frankly, Hi-Fi Rush and Sea of Thieves are probably the games that people wanted more than Pentiment and Grounded. And I don't really think Hi-Fi Rush is all that demanding visually, so I'm kind of surprised that it's not popping up on Nintendo Switch. Now, Tom Henderson and a few others are stating their sources tell them that Hi-Fi Rush is being saved for Nintendo Switch 2. So eventually we'll still get to play it, but that's so much later, probably over a year later. And I know yeah, it's still a nice get for Nintendo fans, but it does feel like a bit of a bummer, and it's an omission that I find odd. Now, if you want to think positively, Grounded and Pentiment are rumored to be running at 60 frames per second. The trailers in this morning's Nintendo Direct were running at 60 FPS, and people are saying those are actually the better 2 games. Pentiment got many 10 out of 10s, and Grounded actually has a lot of fans and people that swear by it as a very great survival multiplayer game. Hi-Fi Rush obviously reviewed well as well, and Sea of Thieves has been going for a long time, but technically review score-wise, Switch is getting the better 2 of the games from each category, single player and multiplayer. I don't know, I find it shocking that we're not getting Hi-Fi Rush. Seems like it's coming to Nintendo Switch 2, so we'll have to wait quite a while for that one. Eventually still play it, but luckily there's even more coming to Nintendo Switch, including Ninja 5 which is a Game Boy Advance classic, a hidden gem and a rare gem on GBA. Unfortunately, this isn't just popping up on Nintendo Switch Online, even though Nintendo did include a bunch of new NSO games in the Direct from Rare. Ninja 5 is coming thanks to limited run games, and it's coming back to all platforms. It looks like in its original form. Doesn't look like it's been modified, remastered. They're just bringing the old classic game to Switch, giving people a chance to play it who couldn't get it on GBA. I think it's a really expensive Game Boy Advance cartridge, so I'm excited as I have not had a chance to play this one, and I've heard plenty of great things. It's a cult classic, and it looks like my kind of game. It's like Mega Man meets ninjas. Freaking incredible. So that is dropping at some point later this year. No release date right now, but a cool get for Switch nonetheless. Metroid Prime 4, though, would be the ultimate get for 2024, because this year has gone bananas very quickly. And no, I'm not talking about the very cool looking Super Monkey Ball game announced at this morning's Direct. I'm talking about we were prepped and ready for a light Switch 1 software year in anticipation of a Switch 2 launch. And with it, that would bring massive, major tentpole first-party titles, but then that's been rumored / leaked to be delayed. So that just throws the entire year up in the air, and we say, what the heck are we getting? Now, some people watched the partner showcase and said, crap, we're getting nothing massive from Nintendo. But remember, a partner showcase cannot have Nintendo first-party games. I said that 50 times during the live stream, but a partner showcase is not indicative of the rest of the year for Nintendo Switch. And I think Real Nintendo Switch fans should understand this, that General Directs and Direct Minis are where Nintendo can announce first-party stuff, and even on Twitter or YouTube, but a partner showcase is never going to have Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Link, or anybody else, right? It's just going to have partner stuff. And from a partner's perspective, I think they delivered some very interesting titles, a wide variety of titles, and it wasn't super heavy on JRPGs, and it wasn't super heavy on farming games, so that's a pretty cool win. Plus, it's bringing Xbox games to Switch. There was some interesting looking smaller titles that got revealed, and Pepper Grinder got a release date. Penny's Big Breakaway is out today. I thought it was a pretty solid show. Not an A by any means, but definitely like a 7.5 out of 10. But Metroid Prime 4 instantly makes this year huge. It would make this year the culmination of the entire Nintendo Switch era, as that game's logo was revealed back in 2017. Now, Jeff Grubb, who's been a bit hit or miss, although he was very, very right about this Direct being delayed and re-releasing this week. He called the partner showcase this week. He was right about that, and he's been more cautious as of late after the whole debacle with Metroid Prime Remastered and with Zelda Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. He says that the same source that told him Epic Mickey was coming back to Switch in remastered form also told him that Metroid Prime 4 is releasing this calendar year. That's pretty exciting, and he himself says that he's much more confident in MP4 dropping this year on Switch after today's partner showcase, because Epic Mickey, while like a game that Nintendo did have before on Wii, it wasn't something that was like heavily talked about. Pyoro hadn't leaked it. Nobody was really talking about Epic Mickey in the lead up to today's Direct. So the fact that Jeff Grubb's source knew about Epic Mickey and also is talking Metroid Prime, that bodes very well. It means this person is either insanely lucky or they really are in the know. And if they're really in the know about Epic Mickey coming, they must be really in the know about Metroid Prime 4 coming. Now, Metroid Prime 4 releasing this year doesn't make a ton of sense, because we've all anticipated Metroid Prime 4 being a cross-gen release to highlight the power of Switch 2 and Switch 1. But maybe there's a world where it just doesn't have to be that way. It still can have a nice updated version on Switch 2, but maybe it also can come out to buoy the Switch 1 this holiday season, to give the Switch 1 a super killer app alongside Pokemon, and try to really just squeeze as many sales as you can out of Metroid Prime 4. Here's the theory behind that, right? If Metroid Prime 4 comes out alongside other big Nintendo games, like a new 3D Mario, and maybe something super fun in the multiplayer space, perhaps Metroid Prime 4 doesn't have the oomph to clear those other two titles, and maybe those other two titles at launch actually overtake and overshadow Samus's big return. Maybe Nintendo actually gets more mileage out of MP4 if it releases first exclusively as a Switch game, and later gets a really nice update to try to get a bump to Switch 2. If it's an amazing game, right, a 9 out of 10 title, players will want to see it back again in beautiful, better visuals and better performance on Switch 2. But if it's a great game, I think it actually does maybe better on Switch 1 and has the entire holiday season to shine. This actually seems like a really exciting and really possible plan for Nintendo. And now that Jeff Grubb is saying that Epic Mickey's source and Metroid Prime's 4 source are the same and talking about a 2024 release, I feel infinitely more excited about this year. Couple that with the recent rumor from Brazil, the original Switch 2 delay leaker, stating we've got a first-party Direct coming in April, we could be seeing MP4 in 2 months' time. And then from there, they outline the rest of the first-party output, and we've got a banging year. I'm telling you, if we get Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door and Metroid Prime 4 this year, it's already a very good year. And Nintendo will inevitably pepper in a few other titles, whether they're Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Fire Emblem 4, Mario Baseball, who knows what else. Donkey Kong, I'm telling you, if we get Paper Mario, Donkey Kong, and Metroid Prime 4, this goes down as one of the much better, stronger Switch years instead of a weak one at all. Maybe Nintendo really has this masterfully planned, and maybe they know they've got Metroid Prime 4 to anchor the holiday season, and therefore it's okay if the Switch 2 gets bumped. Maybe they can even show Metroid Prime 4 on both Switch 1 and Switch 2 to entice you to play it right away, but then want to play it on your Switch 2. Maybe it's like a 2-for-1 that instead of working counterintuitively actually works to excite us for both the game and the new system. Or maybe they just don't even use Metroid Prime 4 for Switch 2. They keep it to Switch 1 because that's the promise, and it just gets a update. You pop the cartridge in and oh, look, it runs at, it's got DLSS enhancements and it's looking a little bit better. But Metroid Prime Remastered looked amazing on Switch. So I believe Metroid Prime 4 can still look incredible on Switch 1 without any graphical extras. Like, they can just make that game look amazing because MP1 looked amazing, and they've had like 5 years on the development of MP4, and I bet it's going to look even better than what they were able to do with the remastered version of the first entry in the first-person Metroid series. We have to follow this one. I'll let you know if Jeff Grubb gives any updates, but April now becomes like a golden moment for Nintendo to blow people away with Metroid Prime 4 and much, much more. I'm really excited about this rumor, and I'm very, very glad that Epic Mickey did show up today so that we could get confirmation that, like, hey, this source is also saying MP4 is still this year. Wouldn't that change the whole landscape for you for 2024 Nintendo Switch? Let me know in the comments down below if you agree, and let me know what you thought of today's Direct. Like I said, it was a partner showcase, so you got to rate it based on that. It wasn't going to have a big game. It wasn't going to have a huge Mario. It wasn't going to have the Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door release date announcement. It wasn't going to have a bunch of new GBA games from Nintendo. It was going to have third-party stuff. And it actually had a very wide variety, including NSO games, and including a Nintendo-published Endless Ocean Luminous game. So we actually got quite a bit. I don't think it was the best partner showcase. I don't think it was amazing. I think it was very strong. And I think there's a lot of fun stuff that I want to play out of it, and hopefully you can find something as well. Make sure to check back later tonight for that Splatoon 3 side order live stream. I think that mode is going to be absolutely, incredibly octopi entertaining. I'd love to see you there. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love y'all lots. Thanks again. SwitchForce out.